In an industry stuffed with marketing bullshit, empty promises, and shiny-suited liars, one woman's had enough. She knows what it's like to have the wrong clients, no money, and no time for fun. But she also knows how to fix it. And on the Business for Superheroes show, she promises to tell the down and dirty truth about business, sales, and running away with the circus. Here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Hello and welcome to the Business for Superheroes show.
Jesus, that was startling. Loud. Hello.
That's Joe, and I'm Vicky. Today is brought to you by gin and tonic with watermelon in it and a faint smell of smoke.
I've just been burning things that we pulled out of the loft yesterday.
Yes. Oh, yes, we have started on the attic in the dingle.
Is it an attic or a loft?
It's an attic.
What's the difference? Wordsmith.
I think, I don't know this for sure because I'm not an upper levels expert, but I think the difference... What? I'm not.
Technical term there. Upper levels expert.
I think the difference between an attic and a loft, and if anybody knows this for sure, write in and tell us. I think the difference is that a loft is just like a dusty spider-filled space that you shove Christmas decorations and your hopes and dreams into. And an attic is a boarded space that you can actually use for something useful and access properly. That's what I think. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's that much difference.
I think there is. What do you think, dear listener?
If you get the question, if you get the answer right, we'll...
Well said.
Yeah, thanks. We'll say hi to you in a famous way, like we do. I can't speak. Jesus.
You can't.
I've inhaled too much smoke.
No, you've been drinking cider in the garden, haven't you?
I did have a cider whilst I poked the fire.
Whereas I have just run 7.5 miles.
I got the better end of that deal.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, and I ran an elephant suit on Saturday.
How did that go?
Very badly indeed, because I didn't leave enough time and I was late and it was a 3-hour journey and the weather was awful and I just got there and I was just like, I'm too late. And my choices were sit and cry in the car and then go home, which wasn't really an option because that was a real pointless waste of fuel. Mm. And I'd already paid for the suit as part of the entry thing. So I went and spoke to the organisers and I explained my predicament and was like, we've driven all this way. And could I pick up my elephant suit and do it on my own another day, basically? Because, people have sponsored me as well. And she said, well, we've got time. Why don't you do a couple of laps now? And I was like, okay, I'm going to do a couple of laps now. So they dug me out a number, gave me my elephant suit, and I did a couple of laps. And I got my medal. And...
Nice.
Yep, I still don't feel like I've earned the medal and the sponsorship, so I'm going to do parkrun this Saturday in my elephant suit.
Oh, you're going to be that person.
I'm going to be awesome. I'm going to be an awesome elephant.
Cool.
Yeah.
I might stay in bed that day.
So yes, anyway, we've pulled all of the cladding out of the attic ceiling. Not all of it, but a lot of it, because we're starting up in the attic, and my God, it was the dustiest, grimmest thing ever, wasn't it, yesterday?
It was. So the attic used to have an amazing train set in it, and we've previously pulled the amazing train set out, what was left of it, and all of the kind of rickety benches. That's gin and tonic. All of the rickety benches and all of that stuff had already gone.
Yeah.
So we kind of had a bare space, but the previous guy, Gerald, had used like that awful sort of varnishy pine stuff that you imagine in kind of saunas all up the rafters. So, I mean, it wasn't a bad job, but we couldn't have just gone over it.
No.
It would have been about the wrong
thing.
No,
we're going to plaster it. Anyway, you know what? projectdingle.co.uk if you're actually interested in this stuff. We'll stop rambling about it.
Have you done an update?
No, I haven't. I'm going to in a bit though.
Okay.
So,
wow. Look forward to that.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
What are we doing here? What's the point of this?
Today we're talking about how to get higher paying clients, because everybody wants higher paying clients.
Okay.
Unless they're crazy people. But I wanted to start off first with a story from Boston Legal, which is relevant because it's relevant to all the marketing you do. But we were watching Boston Legal, was it last night, the episode where the woman died in a fire? She was...
It might have been, yes.
Yeah. So...
we're about 10 years behind.
Yeah. Anyway, there's an episode and a woman died in a fire. And the fire was started because their car randomly set on fire, and it was a fault.
It was a well-known fault.
Yeah.
In a well-known car, randomly caught fire, killed her.
and she died in a fire. And her husband, this was a few years ago, but her husband is understandably upset and he's suing the car manufacturers, which is fair enough. But the complication is that she was terminally ill and come home from hospital to die. And so the car manufacturer's kind of defence to the legal case was partly that they were going to argue that it's all about the money and very mercenary, and that's what they always argue in these cases. But they were also going to point out that she was going to die soon anyway, which is a horribly cold way to think.
It's like, yeah, she only had a couple of days anyway.
And she probably didn't suffer. And the lawyer who was arguing this case for the chap wasn't quite sure how to start. And so she had said, is the jury going to care that her life was shortened by a few days and pain-ridden days at that? And Shirley Schmidt, who was played marvellously by Candice Bergen, replied with, look, you can never count on people to care about the problems of others. They will, however, always deeply invest in their own problems. And that, if you take nothing else away from these podcasts, remember that, because it's absolutely crucial in marketing your product. Because people, whether you want to believe it or not, human beings are selfish sods first and foremost. We're looking out for number one all the time. I'm not saying that we don't care about other stuff. We do. But we only care about other stuff in the context of how it affects us and how it makes us feel.
Okay. Is that true?
I think so, yeah. You talk about people, there's all sorts of arguments about
altruism doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't, because doing nice things for people makes you feel good.
That's a bit sad.
It's not sad at all. It just means that you can choose to do random acts of kindness and all the rest of it, and that's all good. I don't think that the motive necessarily makes any difference. I don't think it's sad that altruism doesn't really exist. And there are going to be people there fuming, going, yes, it does, I do stuff. It's like, if it makes you feel good, it's not altruistic. Sorry, but it's not.
Controversial.
That doesn't take away from the kind act at all. But my point stands that people choose to help other people partly out of self-interest.
Okay.
Because you choose the charities that you support based on what you care about, right?
Yes.
That's basically what I'm saying.
Okay.
But anyway, regardless of whether you agree with me or not, and if you don't, you're wrong. The point is that people always care about their own problems, and it's really difficult to get them to care about other people's problems. Doesn't mean they won't care about other people's problems, but you can't rely on that.
Okay.
So always keep that in mind with everything that you do. That's probably the biggest thing that people need to worry about today. We could probably go home now.
We are home.
They could go home.
They're probably home too.
Yeah. Well, no, Todd listens while he's walking the dog.
Hey, Todd.
Hi, Todd. Anyway.
Hi, Todd's dog.
Harvey. And
the other one.
The cat dog.
Yes.
The Chihuahua, who was here today. Anyway, right, so back to getting high-paying clients. How to do it? How do you get higher-paying clients? How do you break out of the low-paying grinding misery of working with low-class jackasses?
Expect to be paid more.
Yeah, that's a good start. Expect to be paid more. A lot of it is in your head, having the confidence to charge more. That's definitely worth working on mindset. But first thing you need to be aware of, really, is that you will already have clients who want to pay you more.
Who want to pay you more?
Yeah. You will already have clients who want to pay you more for a better quality of service or an extra level of service or whatever. They will be ready, willing, and able to pay you more money if you will only ask for it and make it worth their while. And I think that people tend to assume that they're charging at the top and they're going to struggle to get any more. Don't assume that at all. And I will tell you a story about my hair to illustrate this. Oh yeah, Dominic. Hi, Dominic.
Hi, Dominic. Who's Dominic?
Dominic's in my inner circle.
Oh.
And he does dog training, pack leader dog training, and he's just written his book because he's done my book course as well.
Well done, Dominic.
Well done, Dominic. I'm waiting for my copy to arrive. Anyway, he was asking about my hair extensions because, I was rambling about it a couple of months ago. And he remembered that I'd been talking about it on the podcast. I did get hair extensions. I have ridiculously long hair down to just above my butt. Butts, my multi-butts. You see how horrible it is to me. Anyway, but yeah, I have hair extensions and I don't know anything about hair extensions at all. And I'm also quite happy to spend quite a lot of money on my hair. I don't go for like cheap cuts. I I go to a nice, or I did when I was in Warwick, Leamington, go to a nice salon. My hairdresser was awesome. She knew what she was doing. And I don't know anything about hair extensions. So I kind of Googled around hair extensions in Herefordshire and found this girl. And she came, and I thought, oh yeah, she looks good. And I could see some before and after pictures and all the rest of it. And she came along and she did a thing. And then afterwards, I found out that although the hair extensions I've got are great and they're ethically sourced as well, by the way, people.
Ethical hair.
I found out afterwards that I could have had better quality hair. I know.
Why were you not offered better quality hair?
No, because she said, oh yeah, they do a thing called Cinderella hair. I don't know why it's called Cinderella hair. Don't even get me started on that.
That is not aimed. That marketing is not aimed at you.
It's not, but it's the type of hair. It's not. It's not really aimed. That marketing isn't aimed at me. It's aimed at the hairdressers. If that makes sense.
Right. Okay.
So the hairdressers will then decide which, or they will ask you which. You know what? Anyway, my point is, the hair I've got is fine, but this Cinderella hair is much softer and silkier, and it's nicer quality, and it's more expensive. And she said, "Oh yeah, I don't really offer that to my clients because it's more expensive." And I was like, "I would have paid for it. I would have happily had it, but you never gave me the opportunity." And that story is illustrative of how an awful lot of business owners approach their business.
Yeah, keep prices down.
Yeah, you sneak assume that people want not the lowest quality, but they want the low price stuff. They don't want to pay anymore. That's so not true. It's so not true. Especially if you're in an industry like hair, where you're in the business of making people, especially women, feel better about themselves. We will pay for this shit. And that means I'm not going to go back to her again. When they need changing, I'm going to go to a salon that I found that looks like an expensive salon. It looks, quite posh. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to say, this is what I've had before. It's all right. I'm not happy with the colour because I'm not happy with the colour because she did a crap job with the colour. I hope she's not listening. I'm not happy with the colour. And yeah, so I'm gonna go to this posh salon and be like, this is I don't know anything about this. I want my hair to look like a grown-up woman's hair. I want it to be this kind of colour, and I'm happy.
And the price is not really the problem.
Yeah, I've got money and I'm happy to spend it. And so it'll probably cost me twice as much, and that's fine.
Because you'll get what you want.
Because I'll get what I want, yeah. So do not for a second assume that what people are paying now is as much as they will pay. You will need to add value, and we will talk about that in a second. Mm-hmm. But, don't just go for the bargain basement. So, how to actually go about charging this extra money?
Put your prices up.
Yes, that's a good first start. Yeah, put your prices up by 10% right now, because A, most of your clients won't notice, and B, if they do, they won't care, and C, if you do lose a couple of clients, the increase in profits will more than cover it.
And those were the cheap clients who were desperately trying to find someone cheaper.
Yeah.
Screw them.
Yeah.
They're not after a long-standing relationship. They're just after pulling your pants down and running away with the product. that didn't come out right.
I've got this image of schoolboys doing that kind of where they're no, don't look at me like that. That sounded really bad, didn't it? Oh my god. Okay, so no, what I meant by that was, when no, let me finish. When kids do that kind of, they yank people's pants down and then they run away. Ha ha ha. That's, oh god. Anyway, doesn't matter. Podfly guys, you can cut that out if you want.
Hi, Podfly guys.
Go the extra mile. Now you've got rid of that image of pants. Because a lot of businesses think that when they talk about the USP and whatnot, they talk about, we give great service. Get your face out of my drink, Noodle. That was the cat drinking my gin.
Unacceptable.
Yeah. Yeah, great service is a minimum requirement. It is not a special product. It's not it's not a USP. It's not a feature of premium pricing.
No, just doing your job.
Should be the absolute bare minimum, yeah. Giving 100% and, great service. And it's not just about being friendly either. It's, because... And if you're wondering if people are willing to pay more, then let me just throw a few examples in here. So, there are hotels that people will pay £50,000 a night for real.
That's an expensive hotel.
Yeah. The Four Seasons in New York City, the Ty Warner penthouse is $65,000 a night.
What? $65,000 a night? The Royal Penthouse Suite at the hotel. What? Oh, I'm broken. Vicky's pointing and telling me to do things. I don't know what it is.
I was trying to get Joe involved in the podcast so you don't just hear me rambling on all the time, and he's just utterly failing at life.
Broke. The Royal Penthouse. Well, no, it sounds like I'm reading your notes. I'm the guy who doesn't read the notes. Royal Penthouse Suite at the Hotel President Wilson in Geneva, $60,000 a night.
Euros.
You
could have read it in such a way that it didn't sound like you were reading.
I couldn't. I haven't had no practice at
You're
that.
fired.
I'm fired. Don't make me read things.
I'm not going to again. I'm just not going to get you involved.
I turn up and drink a bit and nod and. Anyway, there's really expensive hotels, €60,000.
But what do you think they pay for? They don't just pay for it's like uber posh.
I bet it is.
And uber amazing, and all the rest of it. But one of them, you get your own private butler.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're paying for. And the people who pay for this stuff, they exist. The Red Bull co-founder Dietrich Mateschitz, which is a great word, owns an island in Fiji, and it's a private resort, and it's $40,000 a night, which is quite hefty.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you get, and that includes transfer by private plane from wherever from a specific place, I think, so you have to fly there. And then everything's included, which is like food, drink, activities like diving and riding and golf. And there's 370 staff servicing 25 villas. And basically every whim is catered for. And you kind of turn up and it's just amazing.
Sounds good. Let's go there.
You got 40 grand.
Not really.
at the Brexit exchange rate. But yeah, I mean, if you have a look at the reviews, it's called Laucal. I think it's Laucal in Fiji, and it's the Red Bull co-founder. If you just Google that, you'll find it. But you have a look at the reviews to see why people will spend that much money, because the reviews will tell you. And yes, you don't have, a 50 grand a night hotel or resort, but the reasons that people give for spending that money at a place like that are transferable across the board. So, for this place, for this guy's private island, it's the welcome that people get, it's the care and attention that they get from the staff. So, yes, I said that great service is a minimum requirement, but there are other things that you can do as well to add on to that. So what else can you do to charge higher prices? Have a look at what's considered high-end in your industry.
What are they doing? Yeah.
Yeah. So what can you offer? Avoid the basic service and highlight your high-end stuff in all of your marketing, but have a look and see what's considered high-end in your industry. So I'm just trying to kind of think. So for a car mechanic, I like that example.
Yeah, we've done that before, haven't we?
Yeah, well, what should we do instead?
Hairdressers.
Okay, yeah, so hairdressers, that's a good one. So not only, let's say you're going for hair extensions and colour and whatever, so you'll go in and you'll have the top-notch hair extensions and, your personal service and all the rest of it. But at the same time, you might get like a colour consultation. And while you're having, because hair extensions take fucking hours, like hours and hours to do. And while you're there, you get a complimentary facial. Mm-hmm. You get your nails done. You get a hand massage, a foot massage. You might get a makeup consultation to go with your new hair colour. You might get someone who comes in, a personal shopper, and says, well, you know what? Your new hair, if you're going to an event, because quite often people are getting this stuff done while they're going to an event, let's have a look at a few outfits, and they pick some stuff out. And then they could go out and get it for you. Obviously, you pay for it, but
Yeah.
That kind of thing, people will pay for. And you can transfer that to anything. You could transfer it to... What else could we do as an example?
Well, yeah, mechanics, like you say, would be easy, wouldn't it? You do all kinds of things for people and with people. And
come and pick up my car, take it for servicing, provide me with a lovely courtesy car, make sure the car's valeted, make sure that, I don't know.
Yeah, don't just fix my car, but tell me when it needs fixing and give me a service plan and, make sure it's beautiful when it comes back.
Oh, painter and decorator, there you go. If you're a painter and decorator, or like a carpet cleaner or something, then you pay pay for, included in the price, you pay for the family to vacate the house for however long it takes to get all this stuff done, put them up in a nice hotel locally, do all the decorating and stuff, clean up afterwards, like immaculate cleanup, because that's one of the biggest bugbears of decorators and people like that and builders, is that they leave a mess afterwards. So make sure it's immaculate. And included in this fee is your stay at the local hotel, and they might put your pets up at a kennels or whatever.
Yeah.
So that when you come back, you kind of walk in and this
everything's perfect.
Everything's perfect, which is it's an amazing upsell. I can't think of many builders or decorators who would do that, but there are people who would pay for that. I know people who would pay for that.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing is really good, and that's a really good point actually. Have a look at what really pisses people off about your industry, and then basically promise not to do it, and not only promise not to do it, but go that extra mile. So for builders, it's leaving a mess behind, leaving things half finished,
not turning up when you say you will.
Turning up, but again, that's minimum. That's a bare minimum.
Bastards.
Yeah. But that's the bare minimum. But you can go that extra mile, and you can charge a lot of money for it, because it's really all about making life easier. So done for you is an amazing thing. I was talking to one of my inner circle members today, helping her out with some strategy stuff, and they do a hand-holding service. They're repositioning it to done for you, which is very, very powerful, because people with money the money's not important to them, the time is.
Yeah.
They want stuff done for them.
Just want it to happen.
Yeah, so you can bundle a whole bunch of stuff together. I mean, I command much higher prices than most copywriters in the UK, and it's not because I'm necessarily any better at copywriting than a lot of them, because that's not it at all. But it's my positioning, because although I set rules for my business, when it comes to working with private clients, nothing is too much trouble. And I would expect anybody, if you have a deadline to miss, and it's a deadline to miss.
That's not a good plan.
Yeah, if you have a deadline to hit, and you've left things till the last minute and all the rest of it, then you damn well should be working overnight to hit it.
Yeah.
Because if you've said that you can get something done for a certain time and then you can't, that's basically your fault. And it's, while I've got my rules about position, I don't answer the phone, and I don't work at weekends and stuff. If I promise something to somebody and I suddenly find that I haven't left enough time for it, then I'm damn sure going to be working over the weekend.
You're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you do it. But,
I don't do it very often now.
No, not at all. But I do think that whole kind of, that not answering the phone stuff and that actual focus is, and that's a bonus, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because you're developing good product.
Yeah.
And you're not wasting your time and getting distracted and getting pulled in all different directions. I think it's a good thing, that.
Exactly. If somebody is paying me 10 grand for, a piece of copy, then they don't want me answering the phone to randoms.
No.
In the middle of it, because that's,
really disruptive.
Yeah, it's really disruptive. So think about the rules that you're going to set as well. Because whilst a lot of people, I think, they kind of go, oh, I couldn't possibly do that. It's like, well, why? Why could you not do that? It's a positioning tool. Make yourself hard to get hold of, and not just to be awkward, but because why should I answer the phone whenever somebody phones me in the middle of the day?
Yeah, somebody's paying you good money to do something else.
Exactly. And if I'm not doing something for somebody else, I'm doing it for myself, and that's even more important.
Yeah. Because
if you don't look after yourself, you can't look after any of your clients. That's why in aeroplanes they tell you to sort your own oxygen mask out before sorting somebody else's out, because you're no good to anybody unconscious. So, but yeah, one of the things that I do basically for my clients is I don't deliver Word documents full of words to my clients unless they specifically ask for that. But what I'll do is I know InDesign. I learned it so that I could do my newsletters. I'm also learning Photoshop because I'm interested in things and I want to know. And, there are some people who'd say you should outsource all that shit. But actually, I'm interested in this, and it's easier for me to do my newsletters in InDesign myself rather than farm it out to somebody else, because it's just quicker now that I know how to use it. But that now means that I can put together a brochure or a sales letter or an advert for a client. And it's not going to be anything like as good as a graphic designer could do, but it's good enough.
It looks a damn sight better than Word.
It does. And one of the biggest problems I think that copywriters face, and this is a gold nugget for you if you're a copywriter, so pay attention. One of the biggest problems that copywriters face when they're delivering copy for an advert or something is that the client cannot see how it's going to look. It's like when you look round a house, you can't picture it without somebody else's furniture in it. And it makes it really difficult to sell it. to the client, which is why they pick and they tweak. And that's another reason for going premium pricing, by the way, because you don't get clients like that who argue with you about it. But if you can deliver an advert that's kind of mocked up.
Yeah, it's not the finished product.
It's not the
graphic design product.
No.
But it doesn't look like something you've knocked up in a notepad and sent to them.
Yeah. And the point is, it's not graphic design, but you could put it out there and it would probably do well as it is. I have done adverts like that for people. And, you know, they've not actually sent it to a graphic designer because it's been good enough. I've done a brochure for one of my private clients, and she's fiddled around with it because she knows in design as well. But the point is, I could have just sent her the copy in a Word document, but I offered as part of my package to put it all together in InDesign because I was charging her a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by going the extra mile. It is worth learning this stuff. It really is, because it will save you money. It will give them, you know, it makes them, it's just better value.
I mean, I think there is a danger that you get sucked into doing something that isn't your core. So you have to be disciplined with it. You can't suddenly kind of go, well, I'm going to spend a day writing the copy and then I'm going to spend another day noodling around with shades of borders and drop shadows and shit. Yeah.
It does get silly, so you have to be sensible about it. But, you know, learning a skill that's related to your own core skill set but isn't core is a very valuable thing to do, because apart from anything else, you'll understand what other people are doing when you send it out to them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. So yeah, basically I was going to talk a little bit about how to actually find these people, but it's we're 26 minutes in now.
26 minutes? What happened there?
We got into it.
Cheapers.
And you failed.
When you started pointing,
you know what? No, you know what?
I feel bad.
I know I'm only being mean to you because one of our listeners told me that you're their favourite, and I'm just like,
who was that?
No, I'm not even telling you.
Oh, was it the Viking?
No, he loves you though. Oh. Hi, Vigard.
Hey, Vigard.
Yeah.
Big hugs, man hugs.
Everybody loves you best. I don't even know why I'm here.
I'm very likeable. You're lovely though.
I don't know. I don't even think I'm doing. No. Anyway, so quick tip: look for your best type of customers. The customers that pay you the most, your best paying customers, the ones you like working with. Find out what type of person they are, and then focus your marketing on those types of people.
That's massively important, I think. You just skipped over a massively important thing. Find the customers you enjoy working with.
I tell you what. You know what? We'll carry on with this in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Because, or maybe next week. I don't know. It depends.
Depends if something else flutters in front of us and distracts us.
No, because I've got another podcast lined up. I interviewed somebody.
Oh, really?
But I think we'll carry on with this. We'll carry on with this next week, finding clients. For now, dear listener, thank you for tuning in. Yeah. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy it, please go and leave us a review. We'd really appreciate it.
If you don't enjoy it, then just, quietly unsubscribe and don't tell anybody.
I wanted to say hello to James was really chuffed that we mentioned him last week. So hi James.
Hi James.
Hi Joe and Todd. And if Brad Burton is listening this week, hi Brad Burton. Say hi.
Hi Brad Burton.
He's the guy who set up 4N Networking.
Ah, right, nice one.
Yeah, and he shared because Todd shared my podcast earlier because he was mocking me, which is reasonable.
What?
And
harsh.
He mentioned the people that I mentioned in my podcast, and Brad Burton was one of them, and so Brad shared it, and Brad's got like a massive following. So if any new listeners have come via Brad, hi new listeners.
Hello.
This is about as organised as it gets. We are more sober this week than we were last week because we didn't press record this week.
We pressed record. That was a win.
And also, Podfly guys, hi David, because he's
the Podfly guy got a name.
Well, he's my project manager dude, but he was saying that they really enjoy working on our podcast and they really enjoy listening to it, and they must hear hundreds of podcasts.
Do they say that to everybody though?
Well, I don't know. Ask him.
Do you say that to everybody, David?
You see, Joe's.
This is a personal question. I am now. I know.
I'm just happy for the love, basically.
David, send us an email giving us the cube root of 9, and then I will know you're listening. Right. Anyway, Joe's had too much cider and gin. So smoke inhalation as well. Yeah. Yeah. Stop talking. Let's go and have dinner. Yeah. Buy my book, businessforsuperheroes.com. Yeah. And have a lovely week and be good. And if you can't be good, don't get caught. And we will see you next week for more high-paying customers. Bye. Bye.
Like what you've just heard? Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, send them to www.businessforsuperheroes.com/podcast.